Hey, hello everyone. How are we all doing today? Okay, so I'm starting a new series today, and I believe it will be of great benefit to anybody that is trying to move from wherever they are right now to where they desire to be as a person. In life, we all start from somewhere. Is always a journey. You can start from -0, you can start from zero, you can start from -10, you can start from -100, and your desire is to probably move to 100 or 1,000. That's the way the journey of life is. So, for anybody that is traveling from Lagos to Abuja, the journey starts with a decision. So, also is our financial life, our spiritual life, um, our journey as a person to it's moved from a particular spot and moves to a particular spot. That's basically the way it works. So today we are going to be starting from trenches to treasure, and it's a series that I've done before, but I want to do it again with better understanding and also in line with some of the realities that are happening in the country currently. A lot of people are going through different form of challenges, and they are trying to find a way. How can I navigate these challenges? How can I get out of some of these challenges that I find myself right now? Okay, so that is where we find ourselves right now, but we need to find a way to get out of it. As a person, you can find yourself at not being able to feed yourself. You can also find yourself at not being able to clothe yourself or accommodate yourself. But there is always going to be a time where you just take a decision that, see, I need to move out of these trenches. And my journey in this series is to help you look at what are the things, open our eyes to see some of the things and the decisions that you need to make as a person to move from wherever you are right now and move to where you desire to be as a person, because that is ultimately should be our goal in life. So my name still remains Okpe Oluwaoni. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel or whatever platform that you are watching us from. So today's teaching is going to start with stages of life. There's a stage of where you have not enough. You can barely eat. You can barely do whatever you want to do in life. And there is a stage of where it is just enough, right? You make money, um, and before the next money come, you literally finish the one that you have made, right? So it's a stage. Um, everybody, um, everybody at one point or the other I mean, it's either you are facing this particular stage, it's either you are entering into that one of those stages, or you are coming out of one of such stages. So it is a stage. So, and there's a realm or a level um, where you say that it is actually more than enough. What do I mean by that? Is that you have enough, you can eat, you can now get married, you can feed your wife, you can move from one bedroom to probably a self-contained or a room and parlor, or even probably even build your own house. So that also is a stage, is a stage in life. Okay. So you move from negative to a stage where you are begging to not enough, to now enough, to now more than enough. And the last stage is now you have now moved to a stage of significance, that you are now giving back to the society and helping others. So that is a stage of more than enough. Okay, those are stages of life. And before we say we want to even know, okay, how do I even navigate all these stages of life? We need to have an understanding and understand the concept of money, because basically we judge everything that we do at every stage by the volume of money that we have. So if you judge every stage that you are and or state that you have by the volume of cash that is in your hand, then there is need for you to understand what this money thing is all about. Some people call it the game of money. Some people call it money game. Some people call it understanding your number. I mean, one of my friends usually say this, and he said that if you don't know the numbers, you cannot improve on the numbers. And that is very, very important. If you don't know the numbers, you cannot improve on the numbers. But before we even start going into the numbers, improving on the numbers, we need to first of all understand what is really this money thing. So number one thing is we need to have an understanding that money in itself is a concept to measure value. Money in itself is a concept to measure value. Money in itself is not value, it's just a concept to measure value. In itself, it is not value, but it is the concept to measure value, right? That's what money is all about. So having that understanding at the back of your mind will help you to know fully well what you should be pursuing after. Should I be pursuing after money, or I should be pursuing after how much valuable am I? How much value am I rendering? How much value do people really perceive me to be? Because perception in some cases can even be stronger than reality. How people see you, feel about you, think about you is as important, if not even more important, than the reality of the state of who you are as a person. Because this is very, very important. We need to have this understanding at the back of our mind. So money itself is a concept that helps us to measure value, right? So money in itself is not value. Yes, the numbers you have in your account might be what makes you feel good, but your ability to deliver value, transmit value, it should be and is what you should be after. Your ability to deliver value, I'll repeat that again, both intrinsic value, assets, and perceived value is what you should be after. So that is very, very important. So we'll still be looking at the concept of value, hopefully, in this whole series that we are starting today. Okay. Money in itself is not valuable. Yes. I mean, that's why it depreciates. That's why uh, it's it loses value. That's why you spend it. That's why it's reduced. That's why you can save ₦1,000,000 in the bank and you can't get ₦1,000,000 back, because in itself is not the valuable. Cash can be said to be king, but it is only a king when there is something that it can be exchanged for, when there is something that it can rule over. So what it can rule over is more valuable than its position as a king. I don't want to go into some other deep things um, at all, okay? I want to make it as simple and as something that we can relate with um, uh, very well, okay? So whatever figure you have becomes useless until when it cannot be tied to something valuable. So you can be making your cash, you can be making a lot of things. If you don't start it, I was talking, if you don't tie it to a value, it becomes useless, right? I was having a discussion with someone and I told him that what is his greatest fear? He's currently making money now. The current exchange rate is favoring him and all of those things. And he said that his greatest fear is the fear of going back to being poor. So that's the reason why he maintained a low lifestyle, a very low lifestyle, in order to build up enough assets that will make him what? That will make him have enough cash flow, but for now and even in the future. And I told him that is of all decision a smart decision. Okay, that of all decision is a smart decision. So for wherever you are right now, you need to have this understanding basically of what money is all about. And of course, I mean, this 10 to 15 minutes video cannot exhaust all um, all the discussion about money. So you need to read more about money, get books about money, watch enough YouTube video about money, and over the time, how you perceive money, how you see money will begin to what? To change. And that is very, very, very important. So it's not really about, okay, take for instance now, at some point in time, I might not have up to ₦1,000,000 in my hand, I might not even have to 100,000 naira in my hand, but then I have enough knowledge that people will demand for my service and I will build them and they will pay. And that knowledge is enough to be exchanged for the money that I need. So the value I should be pursuing after is not just how to make that money, is how to acquire more knowledge, how to be more relevant, how to be more valuable, and how do I exchange this value that I have for the cash in the other people's pocket, basically. So that is very, very important. So cash flow is king, but cash at hand can be a liability. And this is one thing that is going to move me to the next thing I will quickly run through. Cash flow is king, but sometimes cash at hand can be one of the biggest liability that you can ever hold on to. Really, yes. Yes. So a lot of people that are at the lowest state that they have need to understand this. And for them, cash at hand is valuable, but cash flow is not king for them. And I will explain the concept of cash flow. I'm talking about positive passive cash flow. Yes, positive passive cash flow. I might not be able to explain that. What I mean is that the cash flow that does not necessarily involve your energy and time, but has obeyed the law of one-time effort. So let me explain this whole thing. So if take for instance now, you are a teacher, you earn salary, you make money. That's a cash flow there. You own a shop. So when you finish teaching job, you move to the shop that you have, right? That's I mean, you can almost be mentioning people at your fingertip that does that. Maybe when you close at from the school too, you have a private coaching. Maybe you have a car, you still do Uber, right? You do taxi. So only you four things, and all these four things needs your personal involvement, and that's terrible. You are going to enter into a colossal collapse very, very soon because it involves you all the way, and that is terrible. So that one, what is going to be given to you is just cash at hand. It's not giving you any form of cash flow. So cash flow is developing a systems and structure that does not necessarily need you to even be alive for it to produce money. That's why I said it must obey the law of one-time effort. That means you have put a one-time effort into it, but is what giving you continuous cash flow at the end. Okay. So let's now look at what are the things that, I mean, this is not limited, but what are the things that is currently making the money in your hand lose value? Number one is inflation. I mean, practically we can see that right now. Savers are losers during inflation. Borrowers are gainer during inflation because you borrow, the money lose value, you are paying less by the time you are paying, right? Number two is exchange rate, the valuation of the currency that you are holding at that very point in time. Okay, that's why cash at hand can be a liability. Okay, so exchange rate can just make it collapse, right? Number four is government policy to devaluate, deliberate government policy to devaluate, right? So that's one other thing. Then another challenge is that liquidity, lack of liquidity can make the money that you are holding to lose value. Lack of liquidity, and this way I'm going to be explaining it to us. Okay, sometimes $10, 10 naira is more, I mean, a timely availability of a need rather is more important at some period of time than some period of time. Okay, maybe I should use an example as to demonstrate this. When you hold cash, right, and you can use that cash to leverage. Sometimes too, when you hold cash, it can involve impulsive buying. You take decision, you buy what you are not supposed to buy, you buy what does not necessarily add form of value to you. So when you don't have access to liquidity as at the time you are supposed to take that decision, it gives you a second thought, even a third thought, whether you should buy what you are thinking of buying at that point in time or not. Then lastly is cash at hand. Sometimes debt can make it useless, especially when you are the only one that knows where this cash is. Okay, so I hope this has made sense. So this is the part one, and very soon the part two is going to be dropping. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So on the final note, go and play big so that you can win big. Don't let anybody to tell you that you cannot win. You are born to win. Bye for now.